Now, yesterday, the video, about, it taking Drew so long over there, I don't want to appear that I'm coming down on Drew too bad, though I am a little bit, because, it is what it is, and you have to be honest with the guys that work for you. I'm not going to tell Drew he's doing a great job when he's not. I'm not going to tell myself I'm doing a great job when I'm not. I'm not going to tell you you're doing a great job if you're not. And it ain't that I'm Mr. Know-It-All, and it ain't that I'm, all this or all that. It's the fact that I've been doing it a long time, and I have learned of ways to do these properties that are not taxing on your body, that are not taxing on your time. And before I let a guy come in here and start doing things his way, on the properties, he needs to master the way I'm telling him to do it. Now, once he masters the way that I'm telling him to do the properties, then I might listen to a tweak or two, right? But if you're never really mastering the way that I'm telling you to do it, and you haven't got down the way I'm telling you to do it, and you're going to do it the way you want to do it, then I'm probably not going to want to listen to anything you got to say, because you're really making a decision to do it your way without mastering the 15-year veterans way. Once you master that, then somebody like me might listen to you, but I'm not going to listen to you before then. Especially when your way is taking twice as long. Not just 5 minutes longer, twice as long. So, we have to, when you go to work for somebody, and when I go to work for somebody the same way, I have to embrace change. I embrace learning. I just don't embrace learning from guys that come out here and are taking twice as long. I'm not going to be able to learn anything from that, because it's not a better way. They haven't mastered the process that I've been doing for 15 years. Master that, show me that you can do that, and then show me a way that you can do it quicker after you master that, then I might listen to some of the ideas that some of the guys got. But as long as it's taking forever to do a property, and we're not really earning on that property, then and you're not doing it the way I'm telling you to do it, I'm not really hearing any ideas of a better way to do it, because obviously the way to do it that's not the way I'm telling you to do it is not the best way to do it, because it's taking too long. So, you have to open your brain up to, if you're an employee, and if you're anybody, you have to open your brain up to change. And sometimes, change can be better, and I'm included in that. I open my brain up to doing things different too, but I'm not going to open my brain up to doing things different when it's taking twice as long. It don't compute with me, and I'm the one that's got to pay, and I'm the one that has to make sure that we're timing everything correctly, and the business is earning money. So, I'm not really all about, dogging Drew out or dogging Zach out or even Bo out. These young men that come out here to work for me, I want to empower them to be better. That's really what I'm trying to do. Now, my method, it might not always be on point, but my method is being hardcore honest with them. And, that's something. I'm not really good at sugarcoating things and this and that and that and this. I'm more about, to the point. And considering I got all this experience out here in this work, it would pay dividends to listen to me if you're working for me. It would. And just to embrace what I'm telling you and do it like I'm telling you to do it. It's like me going to a new job and I don't know anything about the new job, but I'm going to the new job, and 2 days later, I think that we should do it like this, and I think that we should do it like that, and not really knowing, all the implications of doing it my way. I need to master the way the company is telling me to do it, and then I'll have a more educated idea about how to do stuff. Then I'll have a more rounded knowledge about what the business is about and about everything before I start implementing or before I start trying to implement changes. If I haven't mastered the way the company's telling me to do it, how can I legitimately have any great ideas when I haven't how do I know their way of doing things is not the best way? Because I haven't mastered their way. How do I know that their way is not the best? The only way I know their way is not the best is to try it their way, do it their way, and see the flaws in their way, and get results another way. That's not what's happening here. These guys that work for me have to master the way I'm telling them to do it, and then maybe we can talk about a different way. So, I'm all about mentoring these young men to be better. And I don't want anybody out here in YouTube land to think that I'm just some asshole boss that's, dragging these guys. Of course, I can be the asshole boss, but that's not my intention. That's not what I want to be. I want to be a guy that invokes change in these men to help them be better in whatever they're doing. It doesn't have to be out here working for me. The things that they learn out here working for me are the things that's going to help them in real life, in other aspects of their life. Accountability, being to your job on time, doing what you say you're going to do, and reaping the rewards when you do good and paying the price when you do bad. This is life, y'all. That's what it is. And a lot of the young men that come out here to work for me, they ain't never had none of that. Just like when I was their age, I didn't have none of that. There wasn't a daddy around to tell me how to do anything. I had to learn, and I had to get dogged out by guys like me to learn and to appreciate what their trade is, and to understand and to respect the hustle that they have put in, the work that they have put in to get their business to that point. And there I am thinking I'm going to come in there and run shit. And it never worked out for me. It never worked out for me. And all I'm trying to do is run a business, of course. I have to make a living. But I want to run a business, and I want to have guys out here that want to be out here that want to learn how I do things, so that they can maybe start their own gig. I would help anybody that worked for me. I would help them start their own gig. I was selling equipment for the cheap. I'd do anything. I let them have some of my customers. I'd do anything to help these young men out, But I'm not going to allow guys to come out here and do things their way when their way takes twice as long. I'm not going to let guys come out here and not be accountable and me not say anything. I'm not going to let guys come out here and do things the way they want to do things and me be like little Bo Peep. I'm not built like that, and most entrepreneurs aren't. Most entrepreneurs are dead on what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and they're dead on it. And when you're in their field, and this is something that I've been doing for 15 years. I've been doing this right here this work right here that you see me do every day. I've been doing this work right here since Drew was in middle school. Since Zach was in middle school. So while they were in school trying to figure out how they're going to get in this girl's pants, I was out here cutting these same freaking lawns that I'm sending them to now. While they was in class trying to figure out who they were going to take to the prom, I was out here cutting the grass. So it's hard for me to listen to these guys come out here and want to do things their way. I'm just not going to go for it. You know, they got to put in their dues just like I did. And they're going to, and the only thing I'm asking them to do is listen to what I tell you to do. Okay. Just a couple of really, really basic key things that any employer would ask you to do. Do what I ask you to do. And do it, and do it, at a nice pace. Make every move count, and show up every day, and be conscious of what you're doing as you're doing it. Think about what you're doing as you're doing it. And to the average Joe that's watching the channel, right? Y'all that was a damn Ray, he's just cutting grass. Man, dude, it's a lot more complicated than what you might think to be able to make a living at it. And when these guys come out here, they think that they know, oh, that's good enough. It's not. So quit telling yourself it is, because if you tell yourself you're doing good enough, then you're never going to get better. If you tell yourself that you're doing things the right way, and the guy that's paying you is telling you you're not ever going to get better, because you're not able to look in the mirror. If you can't look in the mirror, you can't ever get better at nothing. A prime example is the YouTube videos. When I first started doing the YouTube videos, you know, I was not nearly as good as I am now, because I made a conscious decision that I wanted to get better at it. I wanted to be able to look in the mirror, which is looking at the freaking videos. And if you go back and look at some of the videos I did 2 years ago and look at one now, the difference is huge. Everything from my wording to my file language to the editing to the topics that I talk about, you know. There's a big difference, because I have looked in the mirror for those 2 years by watching the videos, and I want to tweak this and I want to tweak that. If I was not able to look in the mirror, the videos would be the same. If I was not able to look in the mirror, then my business would be the same as it was in 2009. If I'm not able to look in the mirror, I'd still be driving the red Ford pickup truck, because I wouldn't be able to evolve, because I can't look in the mirror. You got to embrace change, embrace looking at your own shortcomings to get better at anything in life. Anything. It ain't got to be freaking lawn care or tree trimming or whatever. It could be anything. I just don't get it, you know? And how do I know all these things? Because I was that same guy. I was that guy that wanted to do things his way and never could understand why the hell my way wasn't the best way. Until I got a little bit older and I realized, you know, that dude really had his, that guy I was working for really had his crap together. And I was such a dummy, I didn't even recognize it, because I was so in tune with me and my way, and not wanting to look at anything but my way. There's a whole freaking world of ways out there. Broaden your brain, man. You know? I do. I look in the mirror every day at my own behavior, y'all. It ain't gonna hurt anybody. Any of you, me, the guys that work for me, whoever. to look in the mirror at their behavior and did you handle this situation the best way? Could you have done this different and had a better outcome? I live my life based on that, y'all. I ain't always been like that, but I've grown into appreciate that. So when somebody comes at me hardcore about something, I have enough self-analysis built up to where I can justifiably say, yeah, you're right, man. You're damn right. You're right. Or I can have enough knowledge about myself and say, no, man, that ain't how I'm really thinking about it. This is how I'm thinking about it. And this is why. Because I put thought into that. See, I put thought into looking in the mirror. I put emphasis on that. It's a conscious decision on the daily. And most successful people, it's a conscious decision on the daily. I was talking to my buddy of mine on the phone, and he's a salesman, and he sells a lot of commercial buildings and things like that. And he was telling me, we were talking about things, and he was telling me, he has to learn from his mistakes too. He said just last week he quoted something and lost out on $10,000. Now, that seems like a pretty big deal, don't it? But I bet you this, he learned. He looked in the mirror and he said, damn, I can't do that again. And I bet he'll never do it again. Never. Why? Because he had to pay a price. If there's no price to pay for your inadequacies and no price to pay for your mistakes, is it a mistake? You have to ask yourself. I mean, if I don't say anything to Drew about being on that job for that long yesterday, then it appears that he's doing everything like he's supposed to. And I'm not being truthful with Drew. I'm not being truthful with him, to him, and it's not helping me, and it's certainly not helping him by not telling him the truth. Now, I will admit that sometimes I can tell the truth in a nicer way, but it's hot out here, y'all. It's hard to be nice all the time, But I don't want you guys or even Drew to think that I'm coming down on Drew. If you work for me and you spend an hour and 48 minutes at a $50 site, I'm going to come down on you too. If I work for you and I spend an hour and 48 minutes and you didn't come down on me, well, then you're just a dumbass. The business owner's got to set a standard, I'm not going to pay the customer to do their property. And that's at that rate, that's what I'm doing. And if I'm working for somebody and they come to me and I done took, that long on a property that's paying that much, and he don't say nothing to me, he's not doing me no favors. He's not helping me be better. Because he's not being honest with me. I need somebody to be honest with me, whether it hurts or not. I want nothing but the best for these guys that work for me. And anybody, really, I don't have any ill will toward anybody or nothing. But I'm not going to let guys come out here and dictate how much money I make out here, and then want a chunk of money when they ain't generated enough to justify a chunk of money. But the guys that work for me are not going to dictate how long they spend on a property. they're going to have to move faster. Moving forward, I don't know that I'll send Drew back over there, you know? So, I mean, that's, you know, it's not as punishment, but because I don't want to get tied up like that again. When I know I can go over there and do it in 40 minutes. Morning, y'all. So it's Saturday morning. We over here at the gas station getting me some ethanol-free fuel, and we were gonna go to Waffle House and eat breakfast, but they were talking about a 35-minute wait, man. And I'm like, man, there wasn't even nobody even in the place, man. So we decided not to do that because that's gonna put us too late working. So me and Zach, we're gonna take care of this route today. Going to get it done and everything there. So a couple things on the video yesterday. Now, the video that I did yesterday, I'm not trying to say Drew's a bad worker or nothing. That's not what I'm trying to say, and I'm not trying to throw Drew under the bus or anything like that. I'm just being 100% honest, you know. And sometimes being honest, people need to hear these things in order to get better. Because at the end of the day, that's all I want, man. I want Drew to get better. You know, I don't want Drew to be mad. I don't want Drew to take offense. You know, I want Drew to be better out here. Okay, that's what it's all about. And if you can't recognize some of the things that you're not great at, and I'm not great at everything either. But the difference is I can recognize that and I can try to strive to get better because I can look in the mirror. We must, y'all, and this is all you guys, especially you young guys out there, you got to be able to look in the mirror at your deficiencies and what you do well and what you don't do so well. And if you need to improve on what you don't do so well, then you need to take appropriate actions to do that. I do it every day, okay? I'm not out here a Mr. Know-it-all, you know, in this game. I'm not a Mr. Know-it-all, and that's obvious. But I am able to look in the mirror, and I'm able to recognize things that I'm doing where I could be better. And I try to implement those things, you know, just from everything, you know. So, you know, when y'all hear me talking about what happened yesterday with Drew, well, that's not to come down on Drew, even though it does sound like that. It's really to try to make Drew look at how he can be better, okay? And for him to see that I don't have any ill will intent for anybody. Why would I? You know, I want the guys to get better. I mentioned to Drew a couple times off camera about that particular site. I don't know what else I can say to him about that job, you know. So, you know, if he's not willing to, you know, you got to be willing to look at the way you're doing things. If you're not doing them up to the point that whoever's paying you is expecting. And we're not, you know, I'm not coming from a place of a guy that don't do this for a living and ain't been doing this for a living. I've been doing this for 15 years. So, you know, I'm coming from a place that I want Drew to get better. I'm coming from a place that knows what we need to do out here in order to make good money. Not from some rookie out here that don't know, ain't got a lick of sense and no experience. I'm coming from a seasoned vet. And anybody that ain't got the kind of time in that I got out here that's working for me and want me to pay you, well, you got to kind of fall in line and pick up what I'm putting down. And, you know, I don't know what happened on that job yesterday. I just know that the timing was not going to fly, you know. And anybody in business that does these lawns like I do, y'all would be thinking the same thing. Now, Whether y'all put it on YouTube, well, that's a whole nother story. I try to put it in a way to where it wouldn't be offensive to Drew, but you know, sometimes things are offensive when you hear things that you don't really want to hear, or you know, but this necessary to get better. You know, like I don't want to get that shot in my knee, but I got to get that shot in my knee for my knee to get better. So I got to go through a little bit of pain for the knee to get better. Same concept. So, you know, and not that I'm a know-it-all, I just know it all about my business because I've been doing it in the same business for a long time. And I do know a lot about efficiency and how to get these guys to be more efficient. Because I have practiced this for 15 seasons. So when, you know, I'm talking about efficiency and all, I'm coming from a place, that's where I'm coming from. All right, guys, so I got Zach started over there at that big one. I'm gonna go do this other one, and y'all see how I try to do things the same. All right, y'all, so here we go. So the spacers are in there, and the deck looks a lot more level. Y'all got to admit, there is no rake. But see, now I can adjust this bolt up and drop the front down to give it some rake. So we're gonna see how it cuts like it is right now. And no, I didn't measure this or nothing, but see, you don't really have to measure it unless you see that this ain't working. Like you see where that nut head is, and it's the same thing on the other side. So if it's off, I mean, it'd be off a 1/16 of an inch, you know, this way, as long as the tires and the frame ain't bent, you know, and the hanger ain't bent, and the hanger's not bent. And on this one, you can see that I can still bring this nut up and bring this down if I have to. So there's the spacer right there, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but there it is. And there's one on the other side too. So we're gonna see how good it cuts, but this makes sense because what we did basically when we put the 26-inch tires on here is we raised it up 2 inches, okay? For all intents and purposes, we raised it up 2 inches, but really you got to take half of that. So we really raised it up 1 inch because you see, even though these are 26-inch tires, from the ground, I bet you from the flat spot right there at the trailer floor to the top of the rim here, I bet it's not 26 inches right now. You know, because you got all that, flat right there. So if it were a true radius, then it would be different, but it's not. So we're gonna see how this X-Mark is gonna cut this nice, very nice grass here. And this is good grass. So all right, I'm gonna put y'all on time lapse.
Ruh-roh, y'all. Look at them lines that X-Mark's laying down. What the hell? Look at that. Man, that's all it took was a 1/2 inch spacer, y'all. That thing is cutting like a champ. Look how far it's throwing the grass. Man, that's like a whole nother freaking lawnmower, y'all. Wow. I am thoroughly impressed. For real, y'all. For real.
Well, y'all, that looks really good. Well, my crooked lines don't look good, but that's just because I'm not used to the sensitivity on this particular mower. You know, I got new shocks on the mower that I use, and it's a lot more firmer. These shocks on this one right here, the linkage shock there, well, there's a lot more, I don't know, there's a lot more play in it. But y'all see, look, man, that's one pass, man. And that is on a 3.5, y'all. That is, you know, the way the deck was, a 3.5 wouldn't hardly cut nothing. So that's a pretty big deal, man. That, you know, I mean, Drew was cutting things on 2.75. So a 3.5 would barely cut anything. And the way the mower was, you couldn't really cut anything high because you just wouldn't get it good. See, this right here, that's nice, man. Y'all gotta admit, man, that's pretty nice. But anyway, y'all, I gotta put the camera up, man, because well, you know, y'all know, man, we're getting a hustle on, man. We're getting a hustle on. So y'all see them nice little lines, man. And yeah, looks pretty good, really, man, I think, dude. I mean, so I'm gonna be running this mower right here for the next few weeks. But y'all know what it is, man. It's semi time Saturday, y'all. Peace out.